Only about 10% of Americans say they trust Congress right now, according to the latest Gallup poll. That number is painfully low. And honestly, most people hear that and they think, yeah, that tracks. But this just in, Congress might actually be trying to fix that. Let me introduce you to H.R. 5106, called the Restore Trust in Congress Act. The idea is simple on the surface. Members of Congress and their immediate families would no longer be allowed to own or trade individual stocks while they are in office. All right, let's slow this down and walk through why this even needs to exist. So you have to go way back to the start of the country. When the Constitution was written in the late 1700s, there were no real ethics rules for lawmakers. There was no Wall Street like we know it today. There wasn't even a formal stock market yet. Lawmakers were expected to act with personal honor and put the country first. Trust did a lot of the heavy lifting. That worked for a while. As the country grew through the 1800s, money, business, and politics became tightly connected. During the Gilded Age, it was really common for members of Congress to have direct financial stakes in railroads, oil companies, steel, and banking, while writing laws that affected those industries. People, well, they started to notice, and public anger grew. That pressure led to reforms in the early 1900s during the Progressive Era. Congress created disclosure rules, early ethics guidelines, and oversight committees. The goal was to shine a light on conflicts of interest, not to stop them outright. So then we fast forward to the modern era. After Watergate, those disclosure rules, well, they got stronger. Lawmakers had to report their financial activity. They could still trade individual stocks, but the belief was that transparency would keep things honest. Sure. Over time, that belief started to wear thin. Obviously. Stories kept coming out about members of Congress that were trading stocks right before, major announcements or crises or policy changes. Even when it was legal, it did not feel right to a lot of people. And trust, it just kept on dropping. As of mid-January 2026, 125 members of the House have signed on as co-sponsors. 98 of them are Democrats and 27 are Republicans. Well, that matters because it shows that this concern, it crosses party lines. Supporters say the bill is the next step in ethics reform. It's not exposing conflicts after the fact, but stopping them before they even happen. Critics argue it could make public service harder or discourage some people from running for office. I'm not really sure how, but sure. That argument is not new, though. Americans have been having this same debate for more than 100 years. How much power is too much? How much trust is reasonable? Where the line should be between public service and personal gain? Where does that go? So when you hear the name Restore Trust in Congress Act, know this, it's not a random idea. It fits into a long story about accountability in American government. And it raises one big question. Can a system that depends on trust survive when the incentives pull lawmakers in a completely different direction? And if trust is broken, what does real accountability actually look like? This is what H.R. 5106 is all about. So would a law like this make you trust Congress more? Let me know in the comments.